Hey folks, this is Vent with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly review the Slormancer. It's important to stress that what you're looking at here is a pre-early access build. It's due out on Steam's early access program tomorrow, April 6th, 2021. It goes without saying that everything that you're about to see here, including this review, is subject to change. So what is the Slormancer? Well, it is an action RPG similar to that of, say, Diablo. You're going to choose one of three characters, and you're going to go out on various missions and complete the level, come back to town, go to the next mission, wrap things up there, come back to town, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. Now, I'm just going to get this quick criticism out of the way right now. I've spent roughly, I want to say, 1 to 1.5 hours playing the game so far, and I've only encountered two different enemy types. There's this basic skeleton, which does melee swings and tries to damage you that way, and then there's the ranged skeleton that shoots you from afar. Now, toward the end of, say, the 5th mission, I did come across this rogue-looking skeleton, but my point is, I've been playing for an hour, and I've only seen at most, three different enemy types. Now, there are epic bosses that I've been fighting too, like epic versions, but it's just a larger green skeleton, either melee or ranged. So it's like, there's not a whole lot of variety there when it comes to the monsters that you're killing. It's just like, oh, I'm in the same cemetery again. Oh, I'm killing the skeleton type for the 600th time. So part of me is a little, I don't know, just off-put by that. Now, with that out of the way, I want to tell you that I'm really impressed and really happy with the back end of it, the way that you can grow your character. There are a number of different ways that you can upgrade your character. First and foremost, whenever you level up, you get attribute points. You can spend attribute points across 8 different categories. There's toughness, savagery, fury, determination, zeal, willpower, dexterity, and bravery. And each of these points that you apply to these bars will improve your stats in a number of different ways. For example, toughness alone, when you put a point there, it'll give you an increase to armor, max life, tenacity, life regeneration, thorns damage, elemental resistance, there's percentage to melee damage reduction, and more. That's just one. Savagery, raw damage, critical strike damage, overdrive damage, reaper damage multiplier, armor penetration, melee damage reduction, life leech, and other things. So like I said, there are a lot of stats that are affected just from one attribute increase across these 8 categories. So there's a ton of numbers for you to look at. So for those of you that love numbers and love to see all these different stats, there's a ton. There's 3 tabs of stats to look at whenever you're looking at your character and what their current status is. So that is really cool. I like that. There's also a light RPG system where you've got a head slot, you've got bracer slots, gloves, different things like that. You always have the same weapon, though, but the weapon will increase in level as you do. So the more you use it, the more damage it does. Like right now, my Adam Nostris's bow is level 4. And because I'm continuing to use it, I'm leveling it up. So that's kind of cool. So not only am I leveling up my character, but I'm leveling up my weapon in the process. And again, you'll be finding other items, jagged armor to replace your chainmail brigandine coat. It's difficult sometimes to tell whether or not it's an upgrade or not. Like, the value is the same, but this one gives you armor and evasion, and this one gives you max life and raw damage. So, like, you have to just read each one carefully to see what stats you're really going for. Me personally, I don't have time to look through. I've got 40 items in my inventory, and each one just simply replaces one stat with another. I really don't want to spend hours doing that and looking at all these things, and then, it'd be easier for me if they were all consistent and flat out upgrades. Diablo has that whole green number upgrade, yes. Red number downgrade system where you can easily look at something and go, okay, that's clearly an upgrade or clearly a downgrade. Here, it's just 54 armor or 1.5% movement speed. Which armor piece would you rather have? You know what I mean? So there's a lot of reading there. That can be a little annoying at times, but loot people that love to loot, and I do too, will be thrilled by that. There's also a skills section. The more you use a skill, the more you level it up, which is really cool. And this will unlock new abilities that you can put points into. There are 5 rows, and within each row there are three abilities. You can only choose one. So for example, I am the Huntress class. In row 1, I can either have Voracious Arrow, Bouncing Arrow, or Forking Arrow in row 1. I have to pick one of these 3 things. Now I can switch them out as I see fit, but I'm spending what's called Slorm, I should say, sorry. Slorm, it's currency. You're spending Slorm points in order to upgrade these things. So if you, like, do flat upgrades across the board for all 3, it's kind of silly because you can only choose one to activate at any given time. You can choose between them, but you can only upgrade, or you can only have one upgrade equipped at a time. So you're going to pick one of these 3 things. And then in row 2, again, as you continue using that ability, it'll unlock more upgradable things. So that's really cool. And there's like Arrow Shot. That's your primary weapon. As you continue using that, you'll unlock more rows and unlock more skills for you to pick. The Rain of Arrows is your right click. You'll be using that, and as you use that, you'll upgrade, or you'll be able to choose between 3 upgrades for this row, 4 upgrades for this row, 3 upgrades for this row, and so on. That's cool. There's looks like 8 different abilities that I can have, and it looks like the last one unlocks at level 31. So I've got a ways to go yet. I've unlocked 3 of the 8 for that particular character. And again, there's different classes too, so each class is going to be different. So that's the skills section. There's also specializations, which you have to be level 10 before you unlock them. You can unlock like Architect of Death, Sharpshooter of the Wild, and Mistwalker, and each specialization will allow you to do different things. Again, really cool. So, and those specializations have rows that you unlock as you go. So there's a lot of upgradable things. That's not to mention the ancestral legacy part of the game. Not only you're using left click and right click to use things, but you're also going to be unlocking skills for your 1, 2, 3, and 4 button. And you'll be coming across, like, it's a tree in your menu. It branches out from the center. And as you find these shrines or whatever, you're going to be unlocking more abilities, and it is a huge tree. So there is so much to unlock in this game for your character. It is absolutely ridiculous. And again, it's just one of the 3 characters that you can choose. So, like, at this point in time, I feel like the strongest part of the game is your character growth. The weakest part of the game is the variety of the different enemies that you're going to be facing. The combat itself is okay. Like, there's a satisfying thunk sound when you fire your bow and you hit an enemy. There's a satisfying thunk or thwunk sound. But when you take damage, there's no feedback. There's no there's nothing to tell you that you've taken damage other than your green health bar going down. So, like, the developer has taken great pains to make it sound great or feel great when you hit an enemy, but there's no feedback when you get hit. So that needs to be worked on, I think. And again, enemy variety, I think, is another big thing. Now, I did say that this was pre-early access, so I'm not trying to judge the game too harshly here, but I'm just telling you this is what you're going to get if you invest in the game right now. Do I recommend it? I don't know what the price is going to be. I'm not privy to the price. But it is fairly fun so far. I did run into some issues when I first started playing. Like the quest, there's a series of quests that you have to do for your introduction. You walk around town doing things. There's a star that pops up telling you where to go. But there was 1 or 2 quests where the star disappeared and I didn't know what I was supposed to do next. And I couldn't figure out where to go next or what to do. And here it was just a bow laying on the ground. And I had to pick that up. And sometimes E and F is used interchangeably in this game, like F to do this or E to do that. I wish E just did everything, like interact and pick up, or whatever. But F seems to, like, pick things up, and E talks to people. There are keybinds. I'm just saying, The game for me was a rocky start because I walked around town for, I want to say, 5 minutes trying to figure out what it is I was supposed to do next, and the star had disappeared. Again, these are hopefully just pre-early access bugs that can be worked out. But like I said, if you're interested in a lot of upgrades for your character, if you enjoyed, say, Diablo, and you liked picking out different skills, then you may like this too. Like I said, there's attributes that you'll be applying, skill points, specializations, ancestral legacy points that you'll be spending, and you'll be upgrading your weapons along the way automatically. Just, there's a lot going on there. So yes, I love the game for that, and I want to see more of that. I also want to see more growth in terms of enemy types and variety. That's what I would really like to see. But yeah, go check this one out. If you guys haven't already, subscribe to me on Twitch and YouTube. That way you can stay up to date with any new content I happen to publish. This is Vince. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.